Hi, hello Facebook. How is everybody? I hope you've had a good weekend and are ready to start the week afresh. I was just saying to my pals on Instagram that I've got some really fun things to share with you today. Things I've been looking at over the weekend, things that I've been exploring and experimenting with. So thank you to Amy. Good morning, Amy, my digital editor. She is on Facebook, so she's over there keying in all the comments. And you know, I went onto Facebook at the weekend and I had a look at some of the comments and some of the links and things. And Amy, you are just a star. Oh my goodness. Everything I mention, Amy is there. She's on it. She's like, oh, there's a link. There's a link to this. There's a link to that report. There's a link to this article, to that podcast, that piece of content, that product I've talked about, whatever. So big thank you, Amy. I mean, I can't imagine how nimbly you are typing away and putting all those links in. So if everybody who's watching on Instagram, we obviously can't create those links in the same way that we do on Facebook. So what I do beforehand is I pop them onto my link tree, which if you go to my Instagram bio is that little blue line. And if you click on that, then you'll find lots of links to all the lovely things. And I've got more discount codes for us, so get ready for those. And of course, if all else fails, please go to lizearlewellbeing.com because that's where you will find Liz Loves and podcast links and features and articles and good stuff to read and download and all of that. Anyhow, thank you. People are commenting on my hair. So my hair made me think about how we can manage our hair, and I know that hopefully hairdressers are going to be opening in a couple of weeks' time, but you know, if you're like me, you could really seriously do with a good trim. And we've been playing around a lot with home hair dye and root touch-ups and all sorts of stuff. And if you want to see what I've been doing, then here's your first link, Amy. I have written a piece about it and recorded a little film, a little tutorial, which is on YouTube. Don't forget that you can find me on YouTube with lots of tutorials and fun stuff that I've been doing during lockdown. And that lists a lot of the favourite products and things that I've been doing. But this, I went back and I redid it because Lily, big shout out to Lil, she was very unwell at the weekend. So sending you lots of love, sweetheart. I don't even know if you're able to watch this on your phone from your bed, but hopefully I will be able to see you shortly for a big hug. But she, of course, is the queen of hair dye. And if you look at her Instagram, you will see that in a flash, all the different stages and colours and shades that she's gone through. She's amaryllis.earle, because that's her real name, on Instagram. Anyhow, I found this, which I put a link to. It's by Lee Stafford. I just bought it online. It's called Kiss of Colour, Playful Pink. And because my hair is, don't tell anybody, it's not naturally blonde. No, it's really quite brown, sort of mousy colour. So I have, over the years, bleached it. I mean, I've actually probably forgotten what my real colour is, to be honest, because it's got so much bleach in it. So I've been using this. It's actually on my bed. So one second, I'll grab it to show you. Lots of people have asked about this. Again, I bought this online. It's really cheap and cheerful. It's just, you know, I mean, it's not very snazzy looking, is it? It's the Weller. It says hair streaking kit. And I also think, actually, if you're going to go for something like hair colour, you need to stick with one of the big boys, you know, who's been doing it for donkey's years. Someone like Weller or L'Oreal, or, you know, people who've got huge amounts of experience in all these chemicals and treatments. Anyway, so I've been putting in some little home highlights in my hair, highlights even. And of course, those peroxide bits that you can see here at the front, these are the pieces that pick up the colour. So the rest of my hair, Lil warned me, actually wasn't going to take on the pink. It would just go a slightly reddy colour, which I didn't particularly want. I kind of wanted this bright pink, this Liz Earle Wellbeing pink. So anyhow, that's what I've done. And, you know, I'm emboldened by what it says on the pack, because it says it lasts 1 to 4 washes. So, I mean, how bad can it be? We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. I mean, it's still there. I have washed it and it's still there. And it's not making it feel too bad, actually. It still feels quite soft and quite shiny. And so on that note, I was quite interested to look at how we can keep our hair looking a bit shinier and softer and in better condition. And one of the things that I came across in my travels is a silk turban. And this is a lovely company called Holistic Silk. And it's a shout out to another British female founder-led brand doing things properly. and ethically and responsibly. So I'm really happy to shout out to you. It's founder trained in textile design, so it always has a lovely feel, and produces products sort of for the boudoir, which have a beauty and well-being angle. And I believe she's based between Cornwall and London. And the things that they make, they work with women's cooperatives and communities in India and also in the UK. So, and we've got a discount code. Yes, I'll tell you about that later. Well, I'll tell you now just in case, but it's Liz Loves, 10% off at Holistic Silk. So this is what I wanted to show you, because I've been playing around with this at the weekend. And this, believe it or not, is going to turn into a beautiful sleep turban. Now, this is natural silk. And what you do is you have the shiny side, the silk side, next to your hair, because it's supposed to moisturize and condition your hair cuticles, the hair shafts. So I slept with it last night on, and I have to say, I was impressed. So what you do is you tuck your hair into it. And the other great thing I found about it is that it gets the hair off your face. So we're due a heat wave, aren't we? Very soon, they're saying. Even this week, we've got the sunshine coming. And I don't know about you, but I try and sleep with my hair up at night because I just get really hot, around the back of my neck. So this is what you do, guys, is if you've got longish hair, or kind of long enough to go back into a ponytail like mine, you just sort of sweep your hair up. And then I'm going to have to do this live, so I hope it works, because I have to cover my head with this piece of silk, so I'm not going to be able to see you and you're not going to be able to see me. But this is how it works, okay? So you put the silk, the shiny side, onto your hair, and then you give it 2 twists, like this, around. And then with the other piece that is left, you do voila. You've turned it into a rather stylish turban, and it's incredibly comfortable. It obviously breathes because it's natural silk. And what it does is it keeps your hair, it protects your hair. And actually, if you go onto their website later, you can have a look, because there are all these testimonials from people. There's a great little video from an opera singer who sleeps with her hair in curlers, and she looks incredibly glamorous. And she made some comment saying that, it was so stylish that actually she would wear it out to dinner. So, when we are able to go out to dinner, perhaps it's something. It really reminded me of my late mother-in-law, who was married to an Italian count. So she was technically a contessa, my mother-in-law, and very, very elegant woman. I mean, she would never be seen out without hat and gloves. And she used to wear turbans all the time. And I'm going to show you what she left me. This was one of her jewels. And I was just thinking, if you had one of these, in black, for example, or maybe a jewel colour, they've got beautiful jewel colours of silk on their website. So this is a rather lovely antique brooch, little floral brooch. Isn't that quite stunning? And I just thought, maybe if I was feeling like some Hollywood movie star, I could put on a black turban. I mean, fabulous for a bad hair day, if you haven't had your roots done, and you could just sit and just look rather elegant. I feel like I should be sort of smoking a cocktail cigarette, but obviously that's not going to happen. Anyway, I just thought, oops, I haven't done it up properly. I just thought that was rather fun. Isn't it fun? Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, I'm pinning myself now. Let me not bleed all over my lovely silk turban. Anyhow, it's very comfortable. I slept really well in it, and, it's off the back of my neck. So if you're someone like me who gets quite hot and sticky and you don't really kind of like your hair, and rather elegant. And then in the morning, you just sort of pull it off and you just shake your hair out. And actually, it's shinier and softer because it's been protected by this lovely, soft, shiny silk. So then I was looking at all the other things that they do online, because I thought, this is a really interesting company. And, I like finding unusual companies, doing things well, often handmade, helping others along the way, behaving responsibly, preferably female founders, because as a multi-brand entrepreneur myself over the years, it's good to get a shout out. I think let's share the sisterhood. And so they do all sorts of different things, and this was something that I thought was obviously quite useful coming into modern times. This is their version. All comes in really pretty little organza bags as well. It's a silk mask, and it's a mask with a difference. Don't know which way around it goes. This way around, I think. Here we go. Look how it matches my hair. Oh my goodness. Look at that. What perfect colour. So that's my mask. And I know that there are lots of companies, doing lots and lots of masks, which is great. What I like about this is it's pure silk, so it's next to your skin. So it's going to be breathable, it's really soft. If I had to wear this all day, then it's probably better than a lot of the alternatives. And interestingly, it's got a little pocket inside here. And it comes with 2 activated charcoal filters. I'm not saying this is PPE standard, but it's certainly good to have your little charcoal filters in there. So you get 2 of these. Each one lasts 30 days. And then obviously you need to wash your masks as well when you come in. But isn't that great? And they've got lots of lovely colours. So there we are. I should be taking that to London with me and feeling slightly more stylish, I have to say, especially with my pink hair. So that was one of the things that I was impressed by them, not to mention the silk hair turban as well. And just the other couple of things. And they are doing a lot for beauty and well-being. And I'll just show you these because if you're on their website later with your discount code, then you might like to see. This is really nice. This is a silk eye pillow, and it's quite nicely heavy. It's quite nicely weighted, so it always feels nice. I don't know if you've been doing your yoga, but you know how you do that thing at the end. Is it Shavasana, where you just lie on the floor and be heavy? And I do that, and I find that actually if I have one of these to put over my eyes, just at the end, it just kind of helps. It takes out all the light, but there's just something about that little bit of acupressure around the eyes that just is quite good for helping to switch off. And this is scented with lavender. It's lovely. It's really lovely. Look how pretty that is. Just gorgeous. Really nicely made. And last but not least, you may have seen me mention this on my sleep video. So I did a sleep video. You'll find it on Instagram in my IGTVs. If you go to the main profile on Instagram, and there are 3 little buttons now, and one of them looks like a TV set with a wiggly line. That's where all my recorded IGTVs like this are, and any of the films that I make, that's where they go. So if you click on that and scroll down, you'll see one that's all about sleep. I'm wearing a pair of pale blue pyjamas, I think, from memory. And I know Amy will pop a link to it. It's also on YouTube if you want to catch up. But one of the things I mentioned there was the eye mask. And I take this when I'm travelling, which obviously I'm not travelling at the moment, but soon I will be travelling. Or if I'm sleeping away from home and I can't control the level of darkness. So at home I have blackout blinds in my bedroom, especially at the moment because it's just so light so early. So this is really a nice eye mask. And again, they've got different colours. You can have your name popped on them. And they're silk, so they don't leave you with crease marks on the eyes. And they're nice and big, so the light doesn't get in. You've got plenty of room around there. Anyway, well done. Holistic Silk, another great British brand. So very happy to mention them. And actually talking about sleep, that actually had a lot of views, my video on sleep. And I think so many of us are really struggling at the moment, whether it's the weather. I know it was very thundery at the weekend. Obviously, the levels of anxiety being really high. And a lot of us are having really bad dreams and, waking up with our heads full of thoughts. So just a couple of things for what it's worth that I would say about this. And I have written a lot about sleep over on the Liz Earle Wellbeing website. So you might want to go and have a little read of some of the strategies that I do. But I think it's really important to come off screens a couple of hours before going to bed. So your head is not filled with all that stuff that we're bombarded with, but also our pituitary gland gets to kind of reset because it's not being stimulated by this light all the time. So if we can start to dim the lights down, switch lights off, begin to get your brain into, this is going to sleep mode. And then having a ritual really helps. So I talked about mine on my little film, about having lavender drops on my pillow, always sleeping with my earplugs in. And it's lots of comments here about anxiety and getting up early and all of that. Now, I really, really sympathise. If you haven't done it already, please stay off the news channels. I actually deleted my BBC News app the other day. I had it on my phone and it was, first of all, I turned off notifications. That's the first thing you can do so that people just stop, coming at you. So definitely, whatever form of social media you're doing, please turn off notifications, because that's just annoying. It's just your phone telling you, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. And actually, no, just switching off notifications mean you're in control. You can choose. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to go and check my notifications. So that's the first thing. Don't look at the news the whole time. And remember, news so often isn't news, it's opinion and it's comment, and it's who can we find who's going to give the negative spin on this. And actually, I found a couple of other news channels that I've been looking at to get my news. So a friend of mine, when I was having a moan about this, they said, oh, we stopped, watching all the main news channels a long time ago. She said, we get all our news from France 24. I said, well, what's France 24? And she said, well, it's all in French. And she said, no, they're a good news provider, and it's in English, so you can get an app. And she said, you look at it and you go, oh, so that's news. Right. That's actually the news, the stuff that's going on globally, and a lot of the positive things that are happening. Anyway, I'm not going to go there, but just to say, really, in terms of reducing anxiety levels, we just need to be a little bit more balanced. And I know many of you listened to my Friday 5, and I had this email actually that came in, which I shall share with you. I think it was an email. I've got it on my Google Docs here from Amy. And actually, it was on Instagram. So thank you from, Biomology. I hope I've said that correctly. And you say, I listened to the Friday 5 today. I'm so glad you're back. Yeah, I'm back with my podcast on a Friday. I wanted to shout aloud yes when you mentioned the link between gut health, vitamin D and the immune system. Yeah, if you haven't yet listened to that, listen to last week's Friday 5, because it's empowering. It talks about things that we can all do, simple things actually that are making a massive difference. Good stuff that we're not being told about. And she goes on to say, it's so obvious, but of course no one makes money out of selling sunshine or kimchi. It's so true, isn't it? There's no profit in selling the sun or making kimchi. Only from peddling mass-produced food and vaccines, the general health of the public could be improved so dramatically and cheaply, but there's no money in it. Yeah, that's so true. Somebody who's worked at government level for many years on many different campaigns for things, seeing the lobbying from big business that goes on. Thank you all you guys who've joined me on Twitter, by the way. I feel Twitter is a much nicer space to have your company. So I'm Liz Earle Me on Twitter. And I don't often do stuff, but, now that I've got some of my friends over there, I've been a bit bolder to put out a few things. But I shared a couple of podcasts that I listened to recently. There's a very good professor of pathology, and I reposted his interview. I think I did it either last night or this morning. And well worth a listen, and it's very encouraging, and it helps to reduce anxiety. And the other thing that will help reduce anxiety and help you sleep better is a podcast that I recorded with Dr. Rebecca Lewis a few weeks ago, and she talks about estrogen and the role of estrogen and mental health and anxiety as well. So do please take a listen to that. I'm going to have a bit more HRT news tomorrow. I'm actually investigating something which has cropped up, which I'm not at all happy about. So I am doing some investigations with various medics later on today, and I will have news on that tomorrow, hopefully. But also talking about sleep, if you have a look at my sleep video, you will see some of the things that I mentioned that have really helped me to have this ritual to get to sleep, but also physical things. And this is a brand, it's another British brand, which I really like, and it's called Life Armour. And I've mentioned them before, but only in terms of their sleep drops, but they have other things as well. So I thought I'd just kind of give these guys a little shout out as well, because they've very kindly given us a code. So there's a Liz Loves for Life Armour as well, where you get 15% off your whole order. So these are the ones that I started with, which are called Drops of Slumber. And I would always in the past, well, for the last kind of year or two, when I've had a lot on my mind, take a capsule of Passiflora extract at night. And Passiflora is passion flower, and it has been used for centuries at just having this sedative quality. It really helps to calm you down, And, you know, when my teenage daughter was doing A-levels and then doing her uni applications and all of that, and just so stressed and not sleeping, I would put little Passiflora capsules by her bed at night and say, you know, just take these because it will really help you to sleep. And they really do help. But I find that they take a little bit of time to work, and I suppose that's because they're capsules. You've got to wait for the stomach acid to dissolve the capsule coating and then for them to get into the system. Whereas these little drops of slumber, they contain Passiflora plus 3 other herbs in a little bit of peppermint oil, so it actually tastes quite delicious. And I just put them, I'm very tempted to do it now actually, but I won't because I might fall asleep. They are really quite good. And I just use that last thing at night, and that's a very fast way to get things into the body, is by having it go through the mucous membranes in the mouth. When my boy was really sick a few days ago, I don't know, do you remember? It was last week, and I was late to my IGTV because I had a teenager who was chucking up, and in the end we had to give him that anti-sickness tablet that you give, and it's a little lozenge that you just put on your gum here, and it just dissolves really, really quickly, and within minutes, that was it. You know, it fixes the problem. That's how fast things work. Are they called sublingual? I'm not sure. Anyway, but they do work really quickly when they're dropped straight into the mouth. So I use these every night now under the tongue. And I forgot them. I had a night in London in my studios last week, and I forgot them. And I remember saying on my IGTV the following day, I didn't actually sleep terribly well last night, and maybe it was because I didn't have these. Anyway, the other herbs in here are, I just want to get it right, so it's Valerian. So Valerian is another herb that's used a lot in herbal teas, for example, slumber teas. As chamomile, obviously very calming, chamomile. There is lavender flower, lovely. Passion flower, which I've just talked about, and something beginning with Z, which I can't quite see. Xiphus, something like that. Anyway, they work. So I was encouraged because I thought, okay, if these work, then let's take a look at some of the other drops that they produce. And there are 2 here which I think are quite useful. This one, which I've been taking quite a bit of recently, and I think it's helpful. It's called Drops of Balance. And this one, it says it's to soothe and calm and balance body and mind, which is what we all want, isn't it? We want a calm, balanced body and mind. And this one has as one of its ingredients ashwagandha. And that's a herb that I've been looking at. I mean, a lot of menopause supplements contain ashwagandha. It's an adaptogenic herb, so it's supposed to be very good at helping with stress. And it's also got, I can't pronounce that, shaquanda berry and lemon balm leaf oil, which I know is also very balancing and calming. So I am actually going to have a few drops of these because I think that is probably what's needed today. Very nice. And then the other one that they do, which I think could be quite useful as we go out and about a bit more, and again I need to do a bit more research into this, but certainly when I looked at the ingredients I thought it looked very good. This is drops of immunity defence, and this contains one of my favourite ingredients, which is elderberry. And if you are familiar with the Liz Earle Wellbeing website, you'll know that I've written about elderberry a lot. I have a recipe for elderberry syrup. It's something that I give my children, particularly in the winter time, which is traditionally cold and flu seasons when all the influenza viruses start to come up. So usually from about September time, I'm giving my kids drops of elderberry. And of course now I've just carried that on right the way through. So this has elderberry and astragalus, which is another very good immune-supporting herb, and another herb that I'm looking at the moment called holy basil. You might have heard of that one as well. I've written about it in Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine, holy basil. So this is rather a lovely one. It's a rather lovely dark colour. So there we go. I shall take those. And have a look. Anyway, have a look at the website. You can read up on them. If you want to know more about what I am doing for my immune system and looking at things like vitamin D, which we know is absolutely crucial, you know, it's really astonishing. There was a little thing I posted on Twitter, which was a repost from a researcher showing the vitamin D levels of people who'd been in critical care with COVID in hospitals. And the number who had normal levels of vitamin D was very, very small on the graph. And then those with low levels much, much higher. And those with really significantly, critically low levels of vitamin D was massive. So I think vitamin D is something that is so important as we get more sunshine. Don't forget that we can make vitamin D. So we can go out into the sunshine and we can absorb it through our skin. If you want to eat more vitamin D from your mushrooms, this is a really simple trick, and it sounds strange but does really work, is you buy your mushrooms and then you leave them on a sunny windowsill for an hour or so. And what they do is they act like the skin of the body. The skin of the mushroom actually synthesizes the sun, the UV light, and turns it into vitamin D. So you get more vitamin D if you're eating mushrooms if you've put them in a bowl or on the windowsill for an hour in the sun. There you go, isn't that interesting? So, but the government, of course, does recommend vitamin D supplements for all ages, children, everybody. And I think especially at the moment, do make sure that you're getting plenty of vitamin D. Now, I've just seen actually on my dressing table here a couple of other things that I was going to show you in connection with my hair. Because my hair, particularly when it's hot, I do like to put it up now that it's a little bit longer as well. And I just went online and I got these chignon pins. I found them, I thought they were quite good value, so I've just popped a link to them. There's 2 gold and 2 silver looking ones. And this is what I do to get my hair up and out of the way, is I just pull it back and then just give it a little twist. Maybe I have to turn around here like this. And I think if you've got colour in your hair, like streaks or whatever, then it's quite nice because it sort of shows the streaks, as long as it's not showing too much grey. Is it showing lots of grey? Probably is, isn't it? Anyway, then I take this and then you sort of put it in and then flick it over like that, and then it just holds your hair. So you've got your hair up just with one simple pin, and these are quite good because they're quite sturdy. And I was thinking actually, because I've been looking at doing more craft activities and things like that, that actually what you could do with these is, because there's a nice flat piece here, you could stick little beads or buttons, or you could cover it round with covered ribbon. If you wanted to match a dress, for example, or an outfit, you could cover the end in some, bright red ribbon or whatever, and, turn them into something a little bit more fun. So anyway, I thought that was just a fun thing to share with you. And actually, this dress, I had another couple of comments about that. Oh yeah, twist your hair out, hold it with a pencil. Exactly. That's what I do. In fact, I have got a pencil here on my dressing table for that very purpose. Before I bought my chignon pins, I was doing my makeup, because I want to clean your face and everything, get it all off. Well, now I'll be wearing my silk turban, obviously, but, if I wasn't doing that. I feel very glamorous in a silk turban. Might have to keep that brooch on it permanently, not overnight, obviously, but... So just to let you know, this dress I absolutely love. I have lived in it this weekend. It's from our friends at Asquith. And one of the reasons I love it is it's so comfortable. It's bamboo. So bamboo is just the softest fabric. And, got my little neroli necklace on. It's super soft and super comfy. And I'll just show you very quickly, because I know that they've got their sale coming up and they're running out of things. But we've already got a 20% discount. So kind of for us, it's already on sale. But it's got a drawstring, which is quite nice. And do you see how you've just got that two colours at the back, and it's just something, it doesn't crease because it's bamboo, so you can wear it when we're travelling. I'm going to say when we're travelling, which won't be long, and it's just really comfortable, and it's just something that you could dress up, with a pretty scarf or something and a nice pair of earrings, and go out and about in, or you can just lounge around at home. That's what I love about Asquith. It's another really good female founder, British brand, doing things well. And we've got a Liz Loves code. Is it Liz Loves or is it Liz Loves 20? I'll have to check on that. Anyway, we've got links to it. Let's just check here. We're getting so many of these now. So it's asquithlondon.com, and I'm so sorry, it's Liz Earle 20. Liz Earle 20 for Asquith. Okay. And that's 20% off there. Lovely. Some more questions coming in. Okay. This is from Peaches, Cream and Doggies on Instagram. Hello. What a great name. And you've said, morning, Liz. I've been following your talks on HRT. Today I received a pre-booked appointment with my doctor. Once again, I was told there'd be no benefit in my taking HRT due to not suffering physical symptoms at my age 67. My body would not benefit. I was told I could be at high risk of breast cancer and heart attack. Oh, honestly, HRT, we know, reduces the risk of coronary heart disease by 52% for women. So but I'm not GP bashing. This is something that we need to take up with the authorities because GPs are given the wrong information. So it's not their fault. We just need to go back and get the information corrected. And I am working on that, I promise you. I've been on antidepressants for over 10 years. I've had talking therapy. None of this has helped me. I used to be a confident, content human being. I feel the menopause without appropriate treatment. I have been robbed of my personality. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I really am so sorry. My doctor suggested if I come to the surgery in 2 weeks, if I feel the need to discuss the matter further with a practice nurse. Well, I think, to be honest, you need to discuss it with a menopause specialist. Unless there is somebody in that practice. And you could ring and say, I'm going to come and chat to the practice nurse. I'd just like to know what background in menopause care the practice nurse has. Because obviously I want to discuss things in some depth and some detail. Do follow Menopause Doctor. Go to her website, Dr. Louise Newson, menopausedoctor.co.uk. Do read my e-guide. I've got an e-guide called The Truth About HRT, and it talks in there about how to talk to your GP, how to escalate things if you don't get the care that you want. And, these are care providers, and we are taxpayers funding our healthcare service, and we have the right to accurate, proper information. And don't give up. There are lots of good support network out there. Diane Danzybrink on Instagram and Facebook has a brilliant support group, and you can join her. I think it's called the Menopause Support Network on Facebook. Amy Sweet, I know you'll probably put a link up. But they are hugely supportive, and what I like about her group is there's no vested interest. They're not trying to sell you compounded hormones. They're not trying to scaremonger you or sell you courses or herbs and things. What they want to do is just give good information, and it's actually moderated by doctors and nurses who are trained. So that is a really, really good place. But, I think for all of these things, all that I've talked about over the years about this now is don't be discouraged. Do stand your ground. And I know lots of people here commenting are already saying that, by standing your ground, by going in well prepared with the information, it is more difficult over the age of 60 because the NICE guidelines are very clear if you're under 60. And clearly the health benefits outweigh the risks big time. The younger you start taking HRT, the better. I wish I'd started in my 40s. I waited until I was in my 50s. And anyway, I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. I'm not going to go down that particular rabbit hole today because you know me, once I get on to something like that and the injustice of it, it just drives me berserk. Anyway, I have recorded lots of podcasts. There's lots of great stuff. There's lots of support out there. So if you've got a bit of time, to actually take a look at some of these other Instagram channels and Facebook channels and have a look at Liz Earle Wellbeing. We've got a whole section on healthy menopause, and there is some really practical advice in that booklet. The e-booklet, The Truth About HRT, has really practical advice and information. And because it's digital, it's interactive, so it has links. So I've got links to the NICE guidelines. I've got links to primary care councils where you can go to make a complaint and all that kind of thing. So anyhow, oh gosh, lots of talk about skincare. What was the name of the cheese shop I visited in the West Country? Okay, so that's called Compton Macrae, and they're just outside Shaftesbury, and they have the most amazing cheese. So yes, I do highly recommend it. Couple of other things I'm going to recommend just before I go. This is another company. I think they started in the States, but they are over here. This was a present from my parents, and it's Earle, and it's called Who Gives a Crap. That's the second time I've said that word today. Honestly, I've gone however many weeks it is now of doing these daily lives. What is it, 11 weeks or something? Not sworn. Don't think I've sworn. Have I sworn? Don't think so. Maybe once, actually, when I was doing that big HRT thing, and it made me really sweary. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. So this says, good for your bum, great for the world. I mean, what a great motivation for Monday. So this is another good ethical brand. What they do is they provide ethically sourced loo roll. you sign up for a delivery, so you have it delivered in boxes of, I think, 24 or 48. So you imagine all that panic buying that we had at the beginning of lockdown. Was there going to be enough loo roll? And of course, if anybody had their delivery of Who Gives a Crap, they would have had a whole box of it. And it all comes in, it doesn't come in plastic. You know, every loo roll in the supermarket is in plastic. And this comes wrapped in paper in a big cardboard box with free delivery. And what's really good is 50%, 50, half of their profits donated go to help build loos around the world in developing countries where there aren't any. So they go to places in real need of proper sanitation, and they build loos, and they use the profits from selling this, 50% of the profits, which is really good. And I have to say, their website is hysterically funny. So if you fancy a bit of a laugh, and it says on here, you know, this was a shocking statistic. When you open it up, you get various sort of fun facts. And it says here, more people have mobile phones than toilets. It says, think about that. You're probably sitting on a toilet now, you lucky thing. We're keen to make sure everyone in the world is just as lucky, which is why we donate 50% of our profits to those who help build toilets for those in need. Kapow. There you go. And you can go to their website, and it's called whogivesacrap.com. Oh, no, it's not. It's called whogivesacrap.org. Excuse me. .org. Yeah. So that's what you have to look at. It's 100% bamboo. Amazing, isn't it? The sort of softness of bamboo. When you think this dress from Asquith, this is bamboo fibre, and then it makes soft loo roll as well. 3-ply, soft and strong, no inks, dyes or scents. There you go. This is not an ad. I was given it and I just thought it looked rather nice and rather fun, and I would share it with you. So that is it for today. I am going to be back in your ear tomorrow. I might do some more boudoir beauty. We'll see. If you'd like to ask me any questions, just pop them on Facebook. You can leave them in comments. If you're on Instagram, please leave them in the comments section below. I'm sorry I don't do direct message. I get overloaded. My inboxes on my emails are just groaning with stuff, and now I've got to feed my Twitter and look after Instagram. We're also on Pinterest as well, and I'm recording my podcast again, so life is quite full. There's quite a bit of stuff going on, but that is good. And thank you so much for all your what's the name of the company? Which one? So this is called Who Gives a Crap. That's literally the name of the website. Okay. So, yeah, it's quite funny. You know, my mum handed this to me and I said, you know, what's this? And she said, oh, who gives a crap? It's like, what? That's a bit rude. I only asked you what it was. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today. It's been lovely to be back with you and to chat. And I look forward to chatting again tomorrow. Don't forget, so much on lizarwellbeing.com. We've got magazines, we've got yearbooks. I've been signing so many yearbooks that have been going out over the weekend. So they will be winging their way. If you ordered them, they will be winging their way. I'm going to go into the post office any second to post them. I've got yearbook 1 and yearbook 2, which I will be looking at tomorrow. We have sold out of the individual copies of the Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine, but you can find it in retail if you're out and about doing your shopping. And of course, you can get it free for a month on Readly. That's a digital magazine subscription. And if you sign up using the link that we've got on lizarwellbeing.com under digital magazines, you get a month's free on Readly, which is quite fun because you get not only my magazine, but literally thousands of others, tens of thousands of other magazines that you can read free for a month. Anyway, that's it. Sending you lots of love. I shall see you tomorrow. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye.